After the age of 60, many people begin noticing small changes in their legs. At first, these changes can feel harmless. Maybe your legs feel slightly weaker when standing up. Maybe walking longer distances feels a little more tiring than it used to. Or perhaps climbing stairs requires a bit more effort. For many adults over 60, these changes happen slowly, so slowly that they're easy to ignore. But doctors who study aging and mobility say the body often gives early warning signs before serious leg weakness develops. And those signals usually appear long before someone experiences a fall. The problem is that most people don't recognize these warning signs when they first appear. They assume it's simply part of getting older. But in many cases, these small signals are the body's way of saying something important. Because your legs play a critical role in daily life after 60. They help you stand up from a chair. They keep you balanced while walking. They support your body when turning, stepping, or climbing. When leg strength begins to decline, the body often starts making subtle adjustments. You might notice yourself holding onto furniture more often. You might take smaller steps when walking, or you may feel less stable when getting up quickly. These small changes may seem minor, but specialists say they can sometimes signal that the muscles and balance systems in the legs are beginning to weaken. In this video, we're going to look at 7 hidden signs that your legs may be losing strength. These are signs many people over 60 experience but rarely talk about. And the first sign is something that often happens during a very simple moment. When you try to stand up from a chair, the first hidden sign often appears during one of the most common daily movements, standing up from a chair. For many adults over 60, this movement slowly begins to change. At first, the difference may be very subtle. You may notice that standing up requires a little more effort than it used to. Instead of rising smoothly, the body may pause for a moment. Some people begin using their hands on the armrest, table, or knees to push themselves upward. At first, this may feel completely normal, but specialists who study muscle strength say this can sometimes signal that the muscles in the thighs and hips are starting to lose strength. These muscles are extremely important because they support the body when lifting your weight from a seated position. When they become weaker, the body naturally tries to compensate. You may lean forward more. You may push with your arms, or you may stand up more slowly than before. None of these changes are unusual after 60, but they can be an early sign that the muscles supporting your legs need more attention. The second hidden sign often appears when walking longer distances. Many people over 60 begin to notice that their legs feel tired sooner than they used to. This doesn't necessarily mean pain. It's more like a feeling of heaviness or fatigue in the thighs or calves. You may find yourself wanting to sit down sooner during walks, or you may take breaks more frequently than before. This happens because the muscles responsible for endurance are gradually losing strength and efficiency. As we age, muscle mass naturally decreases if it isn't regularly challenged. When this happens, everyday movements that once felt easy may begin to require more effort. This can make walking feel slower and more tiring. Many people simply assume this is a normal part of aging. But specialists say maintaining muscle strength can make a major difference in how the body feels during daily activities. The third hidden sign often appears when climbing stairs. Stairs require more strength and coordination than walking on flat ground. For some people over 60, climbing stairs begins to feel noticeably harder. You might notice that you rely on the handrail more often, or you may feel one leg doing most of the work while the other feels weaker. Some people even pause halfway up the stairs to rest. This change can happen gradually. The muscles around the knees, hips, and thighs play a major role in lifting the body upward. When these muscles begin to weaken, climbing stairs becomes one of the first activities that feels different, because stairs require the legs to support more body weight than normal walking. When strength declines, the body begins to adjust its movement patterns. You may climb more slowly. You may hold on to the railing longer, or you may avoid stairs whenever possible. But these are only the first signs. There are still 4 more signals that many adults over 60 experience without realizing what they mean. One of these signs often appears when someone is simply standing still for a short time, and surprisingly, it can reveal a lot about how well the balance muscles in the legs are working. The fourth hidden sign often appears when a person is simply standing still. Many adults over 60 begin to notice something unusual in their legs. After standing for a short time, the legs may start to feel slightly shaky. Not dramatically, just a small trembling sensation in the thighs or calves. Sometimes it feels like the legs are working harder than they should just to keep the body upright. Standing may seem like a passive activity, but in reality, it requires constant work from many muscles in the leg. Your thighs, calves, and hips are continuously making tiny adjustments to keep your body balanced. When these muscles begin to weaken, the body has to work harder to stay stable. And that effort can cause the legs to feel tired or shaky even when you're not moving. Many people assume this is simply normal aging, but specialists say it can sometimes signal that the muscles responsible for balance are losing strength. The fifth hidden sign often appears during walking. Some people over 60 begin to notice their steps becoming shorter. Instead of taking longer, confident strides, the body naturally starts taking smaller steps. This change often happens gradually. Most people don't even realize it at first. But the body may be doing this to protect itself. Shorter steps help reduce the chance of losing balance. When leg strength or stability begins to decline, the brain automatically adjusts how the body moves. By shortening each step, the body lowers the risk of stumbling. But this also means the legs may not feel as strong or stable as they once did. Over time, this change can make walking feel slower and less confident. The sixth hidden sign often appears when turning while walking. Turning may seem like a simple movement, but it actually requires coordination between the muscles, joints, vision, and the balance system in the inner ear. Such that many adults over 60 begin to notice they turn more carefully than before. Instead of turning smoothly in one motion, they may take several small steps to complete the turn. This is another protective adjustment the body makes when balance feels less secure. Turning slowly helps prevent sudden shifts in body weight that could lead to losing balance. You might also notice yourself holding onto furniture when turning in tight spaces. Again, this is the body trying to stay stable. These changes are subtle, but they can reveal a lot about how the body's balance system is functioning. However, the seventh and final sign may be the most important of all, because it often appears shortly before many people experience their first serious fall. And surprisingly, many adults mistake this sign for simple fatigue or clumsiness. It usually happens during a very normal moment. When someone is walking across a room and suddenly feels the need to grab something for support, understanding this final signal can be extremely important for protecting your mobility and independence as you get older. The seventh hidden sign often appears during a very normal moment at home. You may be walking across the room. Everything feels fine. And then suddenly, without thinking about it, your hand reaches for something nearby, a wall, a chair, a table, or a piece of furniture. Many adults over 60 notice themselves doing this more often than they used to. Sometimes it happens so quickly that you may not even realize it. But this small action can be an important signal. Your body may be looking for extra support. When the muscles in the legs lose strength, the body naturally tries to stabilize itself in other ways. Touching nearby objects can help the brain feel more secure, a balance. But when this begins happening frequently, it may suggest that the muscles responsible for stability are working harder than before. And this is one of the reasons specialists pay close attention to leg strength after 60, because strong legs do far more than help you walk. They protect your balance. They help you stand up safely. They allow you to move confidently throughout your home and outside. When leg strength begins to decline, everyday movements can slowly become more challenging. Standing, climbing stairs, even turning around. The encouraging news is that muscles can often regain strength with regular movement. The body is capable of improving balance and stability even later in life. One of the simplest ways to support leg strength is regular walking. Walking activates many important muscles in the thighs, hips, and calves. It also improves coordination between the brain and body. Another helpful habit is practicing standing up from a chair several times in a row. This simple movement strengthens the muscles that lift and support your body weight. Some people also benefit from gentle balance practice. For example, Standing on one leg for a few seconds while holding onto a stable surface nearby. Over time, these small exercises can help the body regain confidence in movement. Because protecting your legs after 60 is really about protecting your independence. Strong legs make daily life easier. They allow you to move freely. They help you stay active and confident. So here's something worth thinking about. Have you noticed any of these small signs in your own legs recently? Perhaps when standing up, walking longer distances, or climbing stairs. Sometimes the body gives quiet signals long before bigger problems appear. And paying attention to those signals early can make a meaningful difference in how you move and feel every day.